hopefully maybe next month. Yes, and Cheryl, if you're in the Fayetteville area, Cheryl, I think it really has maybe talked her venue into having a live meeting. So we keep your eyes on the calendar. That's going to be changing in the next few days. All the speakers and topics are going to start popping up for the rest of the month. But what I do know, the main meeting this month is going to be really good because for those of you who haven't decided yet, it's going to be about company formations, LLCs versus corps, yada, 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 the good, the bad, and what you should be looking for. So make sure that you pre-register for the main meeting, and that's on the 20th, Tuesday the 20th, third Tuesday. Going to be a good one. And because we don't have Miss Jackie on with us as yet because she's on the road again, I just wanted to give a shout out to our brand new first timers, attendees, Charles DiMaggio, welcome, and James Oxen, welcome, and Nate Thompson. So thanks for joining in, and you'll find that this is a really, really good place to get your learning on as far as real estate investing goes. So again, welcome, and that's it, Kath.
Okay, so we're going to hear from Melanie Nickdell now. I'd like to say, Pam Fox, I'm so sorry. Your chat came in after I already did that, but you will definitely be next on the next meeting that you're in. So right now, I'm going to turn over to Melody and let us learn a little about Melanie, sorry, I'm saying Melody. Melanie.
It's okay. Thank you, Kathy. Good evening, everyone. It's fun to be a part of TREIA, and I'm excited that we're trying out some different ways to meet other people. My name is Melanie Nickdell. I've been a TREIA member for 3 or 4 months. I've only had the virtual experience so far, and I am chomping at the bit for the live experience, but I know we have to be safe about it. One of the questions is, what do I do other than invest? Do I have a day job? I'm actually talking to my old manager about coming back to my day job. I was a documentation manager for Epic Games. So if you've heard of Fortnite, then you know what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about going back there. I kind of haven't decided yet because I'm also interested in seeing if I can make real estate a full-time thing. So we'll see. Check back with me in a few months. I joined TREIA to network and to learn. And so far I have learned a tremendous amount. And even though we can't network in a traditional way, I've been able to reach out to people and form some really good contacts. So mission accomplished. Anything else about me? Don't know what else to say about that. 2019 and 2020 were absolute roller coaster years for me. I would never have guessed that 2020 could have been worse than 2019, but the good thing is that change always brings opportunity. So I'm trying to focus on how this unprecedented time that we're in means unprecedented opportunity. So that's the way I'm trying to look at where we are right now. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Melody. All right, Stephanie, it's all yours.
Well, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming on to the meeting tonight. I'm super excited about our speaker. We're going to hear from Leanne Jimmer. She's with Show Homes of Greater Raleigh. They actually just recently staged 2 homes for me. They were higher end. They turned out beautiful. I was so impressed with what they did. So we're going to learn. This is something that I always hear from when I talk with other investors, or as an agent, I see people, you know, I'm showing houses, it's been completely flipped and renovated, and it's so ugly. If we're being honest, I call it a man-hab, because they've maybe tried to do some things, but just the design isn't there. And the design is what always is going to sell. As design is always what's going to get the, you know, a lot of times women are the ones that are going to be picking things out, and they want to feel warm and fuzzy and get excited. And so the details really matter. So, you know, people don't really know what to choose. Do I do gold, because gold is really coming back right now, or do I do a Spudnet light? Who even knows what a Spudnet light is? So we're going to hear from her, and she's going to tell us what is popular right now, what will help us sell our homes for the most money, and I'm just going to turn it over to Leanne. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Let me share my screen here. We'll get going talking about hot trends. Manhab, I really like that. I think I could use that term a lot. We see that a lot in homes that we go into for staging, and certainly we see, oh, I wish they wouldn't have done that, or gosh, that light just needs to be a little bit over. So like Stephanie said, my name is Leanne Gemma. I'm the owner and lead stager at Show Homes of Greater Raleigh. I have a deep passion for real estate. I have had for nearly all my life. My parents were real estate investors. My dad used to be a real estate agent long ago, so I think it just runs in my blood. I left my corporate job to start this business, the staging business. I've been a real estate investor myself for over 15 years. And I love it. So I'm honored to be here tonight to speak with all of you. And we are going to talk today about home decor and staging trends. And I think this year, as we all know, has just been such a crazy year. And we're definitely seeing, normal trend changes, but also the impact of COVID is dramatically and quickly shifting trends in the market and what people are looking for. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of that today. Show Homes of Greater Raleigh is a full-service staging company. So that means what I do for our clients is we do consultations of all types, including design consults to keep you from running into that manhab issue. We do vacant occupied staging, home updates, and project management. And we have our signature home manager program, which places caretakers into vacant high-end homes to help make sure the dead bugs aren't there, everything's dusted, and keeps your carrying costs low while home is on the market. But let's talk about what's happening in decor and design and staging trends this year in particular. We're going to talk about color, my color predictions, hot and new styles, functional must-haves, up and coming material trends, and then lastly, how to apply these trends to your investments in a smart way that's going to make sense for you guys without going too crazy. So let's start with color predictions. And, for the past decade or so, we've really been dominated by grays, particularly cool grays. You go into kind of that blue gray trend and feel. And there's a real psychological connection between color trends and current events and what's happening with the economy. So about a decade ago, if you think back to what was happening in our country, is we were entering the greatest recession that certainly this generation has seen, and the greatest recession that this country has experienced in, 100 years. And so we kind of got into this funk as a country, and that really impacted the design, the color trends in our homes. So we went into this kind of moody, cool, depressing gray blue, thinking that it's a soothing spa-like color, but really kind of felt that kind of dampening rainy day mood of the country. But obviously things have changed a lot in the past 10 years. We've had a huge economic boom outside of kind of what's happening with COVID. The economy has been quite strong. And we, certainly with what's happened with COVID too, I think we're finally kind of turning the corner and coming out of these cool, gloomy grays. We're moving towards warmer tones. So grays aren't gone, but they're moving to a warmer gray. Grays that still have brown or earthy undertones rather than the cool blue undertones that you've seen. And I will say, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but whites are making a comeback. I remember growing up with white and probably wallpapered walls growing up, and I hated white walls, but whites are making a big comeback, and I love it. It just gives a fresh, fun feel to homes, makes them feel light and bright and airy, and we all know people love light and bright and airy. So there's just a lot of fun palettes in sort of that bone and really light, neutral white colors that are coming back. And then also we're seeing a lot with soothing but bold colors. So you can think a lot about accent walls. So this right here is a couple colors of the year for 2021. So we're ahead of the curve here. The top picture is from Sherwin-Williams, and their color of the year for 2021 is Urbane Bronze. And you can see this is a really deep, rich, earthy color, but it's in that warm gray palette that I spoke about. We're moving away from the cools. And they're recommending this color be paired with other earth tones, like they've got this modern gray and messenger bag as examples, or they also recommended bone whites. So again, we're seeing those whites come back. This is quite a change from those cool gray blues that we've seen in years past. Now, on the lower left, this is from another company called PPG, and their color trends for 2021 are really kind of in these salmon, peachy, aqua colors. These are bolder colors, but softer, very happy colors. And they're kind of very soothing at the same time. And if you're like me, you're looking at these two palettes going, something doesn't add up. These two things are just completely different from each other. And you are totally right. We would not mix this Urbane Bronze with this kind of, you know, peachy pink salmon colors that you see on the bottom left. They're really from two totally different worlds. But these two color palettes that you see here are actually really related and being driven by two very distinct design styles that are really trending right now. So let's talk about those hot new styles that are driving these color trends, and that is glam and boho chic. We are going to start with glam. Here are 3 examples of some very, these just scream glam when you look at them. When you think of glam, you want to think of over the top, shimmer, shine, pieces that speak to opulence and luxury. You're going to see use of velvet, fur, metallics, especially gold. Gold is big. And you're going to see jewel tones brought in a big way. I mean, you can see this green couch here over on the right. That is a big, bold statement piece and statement color. This really takes inspiration from Hollywood, or at least what maybe we perceive Hollywood lifestyle to be. And it really focuses on the luxurious but cozy feel. So this really ties into that deep, luxurious color palette that you saw Sherwin-Williams presenting for 2021, which is that Urbane Bronze color. And I think you could see that pairing very well with the gold metallics or another really deep jewel tone color to make a very luxurious feeling home. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum is boho chic. And here are some examples that I pulled of boho chic. Boho stands for bohemian, and it takes influence from the people that society has tended to label boho or bohemian. These are generally artists or musicians who tend to be poor and lead a more nomadic lifestyle. Travel tends to be usually involved with this. And, you know, styles always circle around, they come and go. I tell you a lot of things that are trending right now. I feel like we're in my grandma's house. Maybe you feel the same way. But boho chic is no different. It's a style that was really popular, particularly in New York City back in the 50s with the Beat Generation. And so we're seeing that trend back around again in a kind of a new, modern, updated way. But you may have seen this or felt like this is something you may have grown up with, or maybe more your grandparents from the 50s, or, you know, something along those lines. So boho tends to bring in more of ethnic and vintage pieces. The great rule about boho is there are no rules. You mix all kinds of patterns, you mix all kinds of colors, and you mix all kinds of textures in styles in really unexpected ways. You're going to bring in, you know, things that feel worldly, travel, whether that's patterns that are known for being from a certain part of the world, or metals or shapes in your furniture pieces. And these are all going to come together in a really eclectic way. This is a significantly more relaxed feeling than glam style. So you're going to see a lot of earth tones. You're going to see a lot of those natural materials like leather, fringe, macrame, jute, wicker, and wood. Those are all going to be in abundant supply. And then you're going to add in these really bold pops of color. But if you think back to that color slide that we saw, where you had that PPG slide, where you had those salmons and blue tones, that's really pointing more towards this boho chic style, which is driving things. And I know you've probably walked through Target like me, and you see all the fringe pillows, all the fur pillows, all that stuff that's trending right now. That's all being driven from this boho chic style that's really hot right now. Art is also a really big feature with boho. When you go into a boho home, you're going to see a lot of art, mirrors, metallics, and natural materials on walls. All right, so we have those two styles. Let's talk about the functionality of a home. And I will say this is the thing that we've seen most quickly change due to COVID. And I'm sure you can understand why. Our lives have just been completely upended with quarantine, and things that were not important to us suddenly became very important. And things that we used to have, we just didn't need anymore. So I think this has been sort of the big whiplash in design trends, is the functionality and the way people are using their homes. Right now, buyers are in need of offices, maybe even two. And I'm just going to show you a few pictures of things that we've staged lately of these as I talk about them. So formal sitting rooms, those used to kind of be the room in the house that nobody used. It was just kind of this room, it gathered dust, you put your fine furniture over there, but nobody ever went into it and used it. But suddenly those rooms are being converted into much needed office spaces as people are trying to figure out how they're going to work from home. And so when we stage, we absolutely recommend that we convert any formal sitting room into an office space to show that this home has the functionality that they need to support their work from home lifestyle. And we really recommend that the office not be a bedroom. You know, we like to leave bedrooms alone. And so it's a great space to be able to use a formal sitting room if there isn't already another dedicated office to stage as an office, to show that it's just, here's where you can work and you're not eating up a bedroom space for that. And, you know, more and more families are also homeschooling now or doing virtual school online. And I don't know if you guys are doing any of that. If your family's anything like mine, your dining room table now suddenly is covered in Chromebooks and extra monitors, and you can hardly eat dinner there because it's your homeschool base. And so if we can find any flex space in the home where we can show, here's a place where you could be doing homeschooling, here's a place where you can be studying instead of taking over your dining room table, that is a huge benefit to home buyers who are looking for that and trying to figure out how they're going to juggle all these new needs that they have for their work and their children's needs in their home space. So it's becoming a huge selling feature. And then, you know, another thing that we like to do with these flex spaces like this, when we were in strict quarantine, like back during phase 1, I know I love my family, but let me tell you, sometimes 24 hours a day is just a little too much. And you just need a space where you can retreat, have a little quiet, just a cozy spot where you can de-stress from the day. And so if we can bring in sort of a reading nook or some sort of little retreat space, either into a master bedroom or a flex space like this, to help people recharge and just cool off a bit, it's just a great feature that people love to have. And of course, now more than ever, outdoor spaces. Our parks closed down. Suddenly we had kids trapped inside all day, and people were just dying to get outside and enjoy their backyards. And so, you know, we didn't used to spend as much time staging outdoor spaces, but we're really starting to emphasize that with our stages lately, because it's become such an important piece of the home to show, here's what you can do for your family or small entertaining groups now that we're kind of entering into phase 3, where you can really enjoy this home without having to be in a large public space.
I have a question. So what do you think right now about, it used to be everything was open, open, open. It was take out all the walls. Do you kind of see that still being a trend, especially with everything that we're going through now, where maybe you do have to have some of those separate spaces? Do you see people wanting the openness like we've had before, or wanting it a little bit more closed off now?
Yeah, I do think the open floor plans are still going to dominate, with some exceptions. I think the open floor plan, particularly families, you know, the parents really want to have great sight lines to their children. And, you know, if you're in the kitchen or if you're trying to get something done or watch some TV, but your kids are over here playing, you want to have those sight lines. So the open concept is still great, but I would say the exception is with the kind of office space. You know, the one problem that we run into with converting these formal sitting rooms into office spaces is that they tend not to have doors. And thankfully, I have an office with doors here and a lock. And let me tell you, that is a lifesaver, because I have a 3-year-old that runs around here screaming like a banshee, and I'm trying to do a meeting like this, and he's wiggling at my door handle. So, you know, being able to have that closed off office space. And for me, I have glass doors, so I can still see and still feel connected to the family. But you can still have sort of that closed off, this is my office and this is where I work space. So kind of that open yet not open feel to the space. But I do think people still want those really open sight lines in their homes. So taking out walls or opening up walls to have that view, I think is still really important. All right. And, you know, we know outdoor spaces are really hot right now too. If you've talked to anybody who's trying to build a pool, which we've gotten several requests for pool builders have never been in such demand right now. We're looking at usually 9 months to 2 years to get a pool built. So certainly people are looking for those outdoor spaces as well. And anything you can do to kind of highlight the outdoor space, I think people love right now. Let's talk about some up and coming materials that you can use for your finishes. We are big fans of luxury vinyl planking, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the natural fibers and wood and marble. So luxury vinyl planking, you know, vinyl planking has been around for some time, but I would say particularly in the past 5 years, it's really made great strides, and I think it's ready for prime time. The designs have just gotten so much better, so they really do look like wood, not like you tried to make wood and just couldn't quite get it right. The price point is great compared to hardwood, and it's durable. They've really gotten great with durability. There's good soundproofing qualities in some of these lines. And for me, the top selling point is the waterproof nature of these products. People love hardwood. They absolutely love hardwood. I think it's still in hot demand, but I know particularly for us, we have hardwoods running through our kitchen and our downstairs powder bath, and water is always a huge concern. But with luxury vinyl planking, you get the look of wood without having to deal with the buckling of any water issues. I know we have some issues just because when we open our dishwasher, it drips, and so it's kind of buckling the wood. Luxury vinyl planking, you don't have any of that, and it's just as or more durable than hardwood floors, so it's a great option. So I would definitely consider this as something for you guys in your homes. With the continued push into warmer earth tones for paint and the trending with natural fibers, particularly in the kind of that boho area, we think we're going to continue to see wood and other natural products making their way into homes. Now, this is an example of a reclaimed wood wall, and I'm not saying that this is going to be what's trending. I think this and shiplap walls were really popular, particularly with the rise and popularity of Joanna Gaines and kind of the farmhouse feel. I think this kind of thing is trending out, but I do still think you're going to see wood and other things like this brought in smaller, more subtle ways. And I'll show you some examples of that here in a little bit. But it can still make a really nice touch. And you don't have to go as rustic as this one feels. This one feels very rough and unfinished, but bringing in that warmth of that wood tone can really add a lot of element and feel and warmth into your design. And you can see this one's really interesting because they paired it with a kind of a very glam light fixture. And so having that juxtaposition again of sort of the warm and glam can be done, and can be done in a way that's really interesting. Marble is making a big comeback, which again is another thing that I'm a little bit surprised about. I mean, I think marble has always been a classic, and you've always seen it kind of particularly in maybe some backsplashes, but marble is making a bigger comeback than that. We're really starting to see it come back more in countertops and tile in bathrooms, you know, whole showers being done in marble tile. And so this is a little bit surprising to me, but I think it's a really interesting, it's a very classic feel what I love about this example here is they again paired this marble with the wood feel. So you're bringing in these natural materials, the warmth from the wood against this sort of cooler but still natural marble, and making a really interesting feel in this space. So let's talk a little bit about how to apply these trends in a smart way. I recognize that as real estate investors, you don't necessarily want to jump onto every bandwagon that comes around. You want to make smart decisions about what you do and don't do in your spaces. But I think it's great to be aware of these and take elements very conscientiously and place them into your home in ways where someone who loves the trend can run with it, and someone who doesn't can sort of still feel like they have an updated, trending home without having to go way down the path one way or the other. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is, please don't try to mix boho, chic, and glam. They're really very opposite ends of the spectrum. And when you do that, you're going to start to feel like your house is very disjointed. And that's not what we want for you. So, you know, let's start. This is an office we just did very recently. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to tell you that one of the first things that you should do with your paint is move away from those cool grays if you're still using them. Move into a warmer neutral, whether that's a gray or more of an earth tone. And then don't be afraid of a bold color, a bold accent wall. And I particularly love this accent wall because it has that beautiful molding on it. This is a statement wall, and this is something that buyers are absolutely going to flip for and fall in love with. And we love staging homes like this that just have something really great. This style here, you can see we went a little more glam with. We brought in the gold, we brought in the metallics, we brought in that sort of more luxury, those chairs are velvet. We really brought in that kind of that glam feel, which works really well with the light fixture that's in here and the that bold accent wall that's in here. Don't be afraid to bring gold in. So here's one thing that I think everybody can be doing is really thinking about their light fixtures. These are two examples. Again, this is the opposite ends of the spectrum. You got kind of boho on the left and you got glam on the right. Please do not mix these. Pick one path and go down one way or the other. But these are great examples of things that you can bring into your home that are going to make it feel very trendy and on point, but they don't commit people to go down one path or the other really deeply. So somebody who comes in and sees this chandelier on the left with the wood beading, this is, you know, more of the boho style. You don't have to have a boho decor sense to make your space work. You can bring in very transitional pieces, you know, very common pieces that you would see, and this chandelier will still feel right and still feel really good, but the home's going to feel really updated. The right side, this is that glam feel. And again, you don't have to have all gold throughout your house. We love mixing metals. That's like a thing more in the past few years. Don't feel bad about mixing metals. With your light fixtures, keep them consistent throughout your house. But, you know, with your furniture, other things, your decorating items, don't feel bad about mixing your metals. So, you know, kind of decide which path you want to go down for your home. And if you want to go in some of these trending, you know, boho or glam, you know, these are some great pieces that you can bring in that give that feel, that give that updated trend without breaking the bank and without committing a buyer to really go deeply down that path.
For the gold, is it, because I see different like shades of gold or different finishes of gold. Do you see a gold that's more popular? What are your thoughts on that? Because some are like, whoa, that's gold. But then some are kind of like a brush gold, which is like really pretty, kind of like in that picture with the accent wall. That was like a really pretty gold.
Yeah, I would stick more to the brushed gold. Rose gold is around, but I would stay away from that. That's a little bit less of a classic gold. And it's kind of like copper, where people might either love it or hate it. It can be a little bit divisive, but more of a brushed gold feels a little softer. Shiny gold can be really, it can be a little in your face. So I'm a big fan of this kind of brushed gold. And then if people have, you know, other gold furniture or silver furniture or anything, it just blends really nicely. And then, we really recommend thinking of these natural materials with your countertops. So butcher block is a great option. It's a lower cost. It's more on that boho side, but it can be mixed in with a lot of different styles. Mid-century modern, which is still sticking around, and I personally love mid-century modern, can be done. You can go boho with this, and you can even go glam with this if you really wanted to, depending upon your pulls, your knobs that you do, your faucet that you do, you could go glam with this. If you want to go down the marble route, I think the best to go with is a marble style quartz. It has the great look of marble without the maintenance hassle of marble, which to me has always been kind of the downfall of marble, particularly in the kitchen. And this picture here is Calcutta style quartz. So it looks really great. And really gives that classic marble feel. But again, the maintenance is so much simpler. And one of the things that I really love about this, if you see kind of underneath the island and on the top drawers, they've brought in that wood feel again. So that's a spot where you could put kind of a reclaimed wood wall that gives that subtle feel of bringing the outdoors in, bringing in those earth tones to kind of warm up this marble and keep it from feeling too modern. But really sort of enhances it in a very nice way in these homes. And then, as I mentioned before, we love LVP, big fans of this. I would definitely encourage you guys to check it out, try it, get a good durable one, and they just work. It just looks really good. These are some examples from Armstrong's Rigid Core line. They have a lot of different colors, a lot of different patterns. And I think it just looks fantastic. We just staged a couple homes for the TREIA Homes with Massengill design build, and they use luxury vinyl plank, and it just looked top notch. So don't be afraid of embracing the vinyl planking. I think you can sell it really well as an upgrade to hardwood because of that waterproof feature and that durability feature.
Leanne, we have a question for you from Pamela Fox. It says, you mentioned to keep the same metal throughout the home. I think you said you can mix it, but the question says, you mentioned to keep the same metal throughout home. What if there's an upstairs and basement? Can you gold on one floor and silver on the other?
Ideally, I would say try to keep your fixtures in the same family line. So if you're going to be redoing them, redo them all the same. If you're not redoing the basement and it's silver, but you want to put gold on the main level, that's okay. But with your paint and your fixtures, your flooring, you really want to bring in that cohesive feel throughout the home. So ideally, the best is to keep them all in the same family, in the same color, in the same style. But if that's just not feasible due to budget, and they're really separated visually, I would say that's okay. I think, for the mixing, what I meant is it's okay to have a gold or a silver chandelier and have the opposite furniture, or we have a gold piece of furniture next to a black metal piece of furniture. So we really mix and match our metals with our accent pieces and our decor items. We don't feel bound. I think there used to be kind of this strict rule of you have to stick with one and keep with one. And that's just not true anymore. You just see this blend of everything. And I think some of that might come from the boho style where just anything goes and you just mix all kinds of patterns and colors and textures together. And so mixing metals is kind of trendy right now.
What about flooring colors? There was a big, really dark hardwoods there for a while, and then it seems like you're seeing a lot more like not white, but not blonde either, kind of that lighter floor. What are your thoughts on the color of the flooring?
Yeah, I think, again, I'd go back more towards the warmer tones, the warmer grays, the warmer browns. We're starting to see that come in. So you can see some of these pictures, like this top left is kind of a chameleon color. It could be gray, it could be brown, but it feels a little warmer than some of these other really cool grays. I love this one on the right, which I think is their buttermilk. And I've used this before, and it's just really brings a nice warmth to this. And the great thing about something like this, it's not dark, so it keeps the room feeling light and airy. And also this, you can mix a grayer paint or grayer furniture with something along this lines of tone. I would kind of probably step back from these darker and bluer grays, just again, because of the trends with paint and where people are going. So I would stick to sort of something like this top right, or top left, this middle right, or this bottom right even. This blonde one, I think this is, some people will love it and some people will hate it. So I think that could be a little bit divisive, but I think the other kind of middle of the road options are really great options. But I would trend more towards the warmer carpet as well. I would kind of move away from cool gray carpet into a little bit warmer grays or warmer earth tones of carpet if you're doing carpet. So that's it for me on what I had to present. I'll take more questions if you have any. If you're interested in chatting with us more about trends, feel free to contact us. Leanne Gemma, I'm there on the right. There's my email address. You can also reach out to Tara Reynolds. She's our business development manager, and she loves to talk to everyone. We'd love to help out in any way we can. We do design consultations. We're offering everyone 10% off a design consultation if you're interested, so we can help keep your design feeling great with all your materials and finishes and give you a cohesive feel. But yeah, if you have any other questions, just let me know.
There's one other question so far from Pamela Fox. It says, I have an older brown with gold flecks countertop discontinued in kitchen. I'm going to add an island. Would you choose a contrast color for the island? I may be able to reconfigure and use the same color for the counter.
I think you can do different things. I would say if you're doing a different cabinet color on the island, absolutely do a different countertop color because that'll look very intentional. If you're doing the same cabinet color on the island, you can probably get away with a coordinating but different countertop, or you could do a matching if you could find it. But I wouldn't feel forced to match your countertop on your island to your countertop on your main counters.
Melody Nickdale asks, have you seen the triangle deviate from national trends?
I mean, New York and I would say like in the Pacific Northwest, you see more of a trend towards Scandinavian that we don't really have. New York is always its own thing. It's always a little more big and over the top than we are. Certainly I think Southwestern style is becoming very popular, but not here. So I think you're seeing that a lot more in like Texas, New Mexico, and even into probably Southern California. Now, some of that Southwestern style you'll see in the patterns more in like a boho style, but we're not seeing a heavy trend towards that Southwest style here. So, but I think glam and boho are fairly universal throughout the country, and I don't think we're too dissimilar from that.
Winnie Beach is asking faucets and bathroom fixtures.
I would again stick with whatever you have in the rest of the home, whatever color that is, whether that's gold, silver, black, oil rub, bronze. You want that cohesive feel throughout your home. I think all of those colors are acceptable right now. I think the most trending is gold. I think silver is close behind. I'd say oil rub bronze is kind of out. That's feeling a little, 90s, early 2000s. But black is also really popular right now because of kind of the farmhouse, the modern farmhouse vibes that, Joanna Gaines, I would say, really gave a huge rise to when she gained so much popularity on HGTV. So black, particularly coupled with a white paint, gives a really classic, more modern farmhouse vibe.
Melanie Nickdale is asking, do you have any recommendations on how to stay abreast of trends without being glued to Pinterest?
I think if you just buy a magazine like Real Simple or HGTV or anything like that and just flip through it once a quarter, design trends don't change that frequently because it takes a while for a trend to get popular. Then you have to have all the manufacturers that are manufacturing it, and then people have to buy it. So those things kind of stick around for a while. And I think, for what you guys want to do, you're not going to go too crazy down any vein. So I think, as you're shopping for light fixtures and you start to see all these weird chandeliers that have wood beads on them, what's that? You can kind of figure out like there's a new trend that's happening here and figure out what that is or what's happening there. but it does take like, like places like Lowe's are always the slowest to catch up. But if you go to a lighting store, you really start to see these new trends coming in and you can kind of see what's going on. I would say, probably for a lot of investment, you don't want to be too early on a trend because there's not enough people, kind of like technology. There's sort of the early adopters, which is a very small percentage. And then you kind of have the fast followers and then the big herd right after that. So you want to kind of let a style come out and start to gain popularity and get all the manufacturers behind it, and then start to really go as sort of the main herd. And, the fast followers are starting to pull on to that trend. If you wait too long after that, your trend is starting to go out of style. So I think you usually have, a couple years on any given style. Paints can tend to stick around for a little bit longer. I mean, you saw with those blue grays, we really held on to that for about a decade. And I think we're going to move into these earth tones and whites for probably another good 5 years. Now, COVID is really throwing everything for a loop. So with what's happening with the economy and COVID, maybe I'll eat those words. But I think the warmer tones, giving that cozy feel, a warmer feel, are going to stick around for a while. So I think you're safe in that space for quite some time.
Nate Thompson asks, do we think the modern farmhouse design has a 1 to 2 year longevity?
I kind of think it's over, personally. I think there are still those people who love it and will always love it. And that's great. But I think as a mainstream, I'd say what's happening with mainstream with modern farmhouse is moving a little bit more into the industrial and like mid-century modern. And so you kind of see that having evolved over. So I think if you're going for that kind of look, there's still a very classic look that you can do that will appeal to a lot of people. But I would stick away from very traditional farmhouse and go a little bit more with designs and look and feel that could fit a mid-century modern, an industrial, or a modern farmhouse. And you can do that by kind of sticking to really classic white tones, black fixtures, wood again, and that touches on a lot of things that people love to see and feel.
Pamela Fox asks, what's popular in carpet?
No carpet is what's popular in carpet. There are people that love carpet and people that hate carpet. Most people really want hardwoods. I think where people are split is whether or not you do hardwood or carpet in the bedroom. So I think carpet in the bedroom tends to be pretty acceptable, but I think hardwoods are still really king of the domain. So with carpet, again, I would move away from the cooler tones and into the more I think you could still stick with a gray, but go for a warmer gray or a lighter earth tone, a lighter brown color.
That's all the questions, unless anyone has anything. Going once, going twice. Okay, there's one just came in. You mentioned a lot of new staging strategies due to COVID, offices, homeschooling, outdoor spaces. Which of these trends do you think will remain important after COVID?
That's what's pretty interesting to me. I think the home office space is going to stick around for quite a while because I think now that people have experienced work from home life, while they may not want it all the time, particularly while their kids are running around screaming like banshees, I think there's still going to be a lot of flexibility and people may want to work from home either in perpetuity or at least a few days a week. So I think the office space is going to be a really important one. The outdoor space, people always love outdoor spaces. I think just right now it's become more critical than ever. That is one that I could see kind of fading back a little bit. I could be wrong about that, but I think as our parks and our open spaces start to reopen, people will start to go out a little bit more, and suddenly that lawn maintenance might not be as appealing as it was when you were stuck at home during quarantine. But I do think that, the home office, I would say, is number one. A cozy retreat, flex space would be number two. Outdoor, I think it's important right now, but that's the one that I could see fading first.
Okay, while you all are giving you one last chance for questions, going once, going twice, we'll mention that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the meeting that we have a couple openings on the board of directors for the upcoming year. If anyone's interested, please drop a note in the chat or email triaprojects@gmail.com. I have not had any other questions come in, so Steph?
I always have a hard time unmuting myself. Well, thank you everyone for being here tonight. Leanne, you did a great job. Thanks for all the knowledge so we know exactly what to do. And I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank you so much,
Leanne.
everyone.
Everybody stay
Bye,
safe.
thank you.
Ah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Run out the flagpole. I'll get that stuff on the website. There was something I was going to ask you, and I can't remember what it was. Shit.
Well,
Okay. No, it's gone.
Affirmation signers on there tonight, so I guess we'll see if that little announcement causes any stir.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they'll report back. But like I said, now we don't got we don't have Lisa Stir to kick around anymore. She was a good punching bag while it lasted. But anyway, yeah. But I think I'm really curious about this mediation thing. This just what bullshit they're going to come up with now. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what the new demands from the old demands.
Yeah.
And they're still just as demanding as they were before,
I'm not looking forward
even
to
though they're losing their asses.
I'm not looking forward to sitting across the table from them, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I am. I can do the stink eye just as good as anybody else.
Me too. I'm just gonna want to reach across the table and punch his
Punch him, punch his lights out. I know. I really don't want to be in the same room with them, but there you go. We've got Tracy Fowler back, I guess, for Dwyer.
Right, that's right. I remember.
So I guess she's just gonna go a little bit more.
Different. I remember she said she's gonna do something different.
I don't remember what it is.
I mean, I don't either.
Oh well, I'll just make something up because Audria's blurb is it's almost a rewrite of the first one, so I'll try and change it around a bit.
All right. Tracy Fowler's the one who told me about Joshua Jensen. I'm super interested in knowing that story.
He worked for Cisco?
Yeah, and she said I don't know, I just thought it was really interesting the way she said it would be really easy to. What did she say?
Wreck his
Patient or something. Whatever it was, I liked the way she was thinking.
Yeah, I know. Cream. Okay, well, Tracy, can you just like get on it and find out something about the other two assholes that we need to?
Yeah, can we hire you?
destroy?
Yeah, exactly.
Seeing as how you apparently have got your finger on the pulse. Let's get some dirt on those shits. I still think it's a good idea to get a PI. I think we could find some crap.
We can afford it now. Fuck.
No, I know, but I still think we could find some crap.
I know. I'd love to. I would love to.
We looked at Mr. Kisgan's holdings lately and see if he's still got all of them. How much money he still owes Mr. Ford?
I haven't looked lately. I'll make sure and look before the mediation.
Yeah, maybe make a note or two or 5.
Yeah.
Something like that, but yeah. Alrighty, well that's good. Yeah, I think the only thing is we maybe try and reach out to Will or Norm, either one, and see if they'd be willing to spend an hour going over the new stuff. That would be good. I don't know of anybody else that could speak to that really, that's local.
Yeah, it shouldn't be hard to find someone. I'll try to, if they can't do it, I know other attorneys who specialize in that, and I'll find someone. When's hers?
Next Tuesday.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing like.
No, I know. It's always the last minute. I mean, yeah. I mean, I love her, but oh my God, Karen. I mean, you got to have some ideas.
Yeah. Like
But,
start now for November, please.
well, I try and push, but you know, gets a little harpy after a while.
I know. Yeah, well, people, I mean, they're grown ass adults. They shouldn't have to be pushed like that.
Well, I know. I mean, God only knows what would be going on now if we were in person. I mean, she wouldn't have been. Oh, I heard back from Mez. They will do in person. But I haven't heard back from. I sent you that today that Melanie and Audrey do not want to do in person yet. And of course, Cheryl, she's gung ho, and Stephanie's going, I would love it. But
Where is Stephanie's?
that's Dave & Buster's. I'll reach out to them maybe tomorrow. Chuck sent me that email with that gal. I got that gal's email. I'll send her a quick blurb and say, are you guys reopening for your meeting room or what? Because they just laid off 90 people.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
So I don't know if they're in person as yet. I know for a fact Prestonwood is not. So that's that. And if we keep millennials virtual, that's great. The only other one we got is new. And that was at Golden Corral.
Yeah. But we don't have anyone to lead it, so.
We don't.
I guess.
So we'll have to keep new virtual as well for now.
Yeah.
Maybe till the new year, because we've only got next month and that's it.
True.
There's just no
God.
meetings in December. We got the whole month of December off.
Thank God.
So that'll be good. So yeah, we'll have to, I'll start trying to nail these guys down for next year, see who's gonna abandon ship.
Yeah.
I don't, do we want to make any attempt to keep Roxana?
Well, not really. She's annoying.
Well, she's annoying as shit, but she's coming up with some good speakers.
She really is. I guess just send her the same thing you send everyone else and see what she says. Did she respond about in person?
No, I'll send her another reminder.
Where does hers meet?
At Mez, so she can conceivably start in persons, because they said it would be the same price as the buffet, but they would do like a family style, no more than 6 per table, maximum of 40 in the room. And we just get charged the same. So it would just be same. So we can get up to 40 people up there. But I still think that we need to reach out to the membership themselves and just say, hey, you know,
yeah.
We're trying to push to get back to in person. Just click yes or no. Are you into it? Or are you not into it?
Yeah.
It's a yes or no answer, and hopefully we can get a cross section of who would actually want to come, because there's no point in pushing the venues if we can't get anybody to come.
No, you're right.
We'll just leave it alone and just stay with the virtual for now till January. But yeah, if like I said, I'm
honestly, is it even worth doing it for just 1 month? I mean, should we maybe just start to make a plan for January, other than Fayetteville, let her do what she wants? But you know,
do whatever else she wants down there, because there's just those guys down there.
But it just seems to me like there's a lot of pain in the, like maybe we should start now planning for January, asking people, would you want to go back in January? Why push it just for 1 freaking month and then have a month off? And
no reason, considering, you know, 3 or 4 of the meetings there, I seriously doubt they'll open next month anyway.
Yeah.
So only 3 of the meetings are a go. So, I mean, yeah, I'd say tell Cheryl, knock yourself out.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, just take the via Zoom off of hers and she can reach out to whoever's, you know, I can quickly give her an update, you know, every day or whatever on who signed up and she can reach out. There's eight or 10 signed up so far for this month. So, you know, if she wants to reach out to them and say, hey, you want to do it in person, the only thing is that that's not available to anybody else
Right.
because we don't have that set up yet.
Yeah.
So Fayetteville will basically go back to Fayetteville, and she's a freaking font. She's seriously one of our best group leaders, and I
Yeah.
think it would be tragic to deprive everybody else that's been so loyal for the last 6 months coming to almost, I mean, there's some of them have been at every damn meeting, everyone. And they know she's good and she's got some good info. So I think we need to push everybody up to January.
Works for me. It makes our lives easier too. That gives us all of December to deal with it.
Yeah. And not have to drive anywhere.
God, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm not either.
I'm really not looking forward to that, driving shit everywhere. But anyway, alrighty. I have a feeling that Karen won't come back on for next year. She's just going to say she doesn't have the time, even though she's had all the freaking time in the world because she hasn't been doing anything. No, seriously. Since the pilot project, she's done. She keeps telling me how bored she is. Like, shit, lady. Well, if you're bored, let's search out some speakers.
Yeah, we'll give you some things to do.
I don't get it, but yeah, so I don't know. She may think once we're back in person, it's too far for her to go up north, and I don't blame her.
I don't
She's
either.
like a stopgap. I mean, I think we can find somebody else from north. Maybe we can pull her into a different.
Maybe what we could do is once we get through November, start telling them now that like the first week in December, we'll have a Zoom meeting with subgroup leaders and just say, it's the end of the year.
Yep.
You are happy with your group. You want to come back? Do you not want to come back? So we have time to plan. And then if they're, yeah, I think we should do that. And at the same time, start asking members, are you comfortable in January going live?
Yeah. Like I said, it's either Survey Monkey or something, whatever the hell it is. I don't know anything about this shit. But if we could just send something out to, you know, the membership just saying yes or no.
Yep. All right. We'll start working on it. All right. Have a good night.
All right, you too. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay.